Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Action Network's Premier League betting preview show. I'm Michael Leboff, the soccer editor here at Action, and I'm joined today by BJ Cunningham of beautiful Dubuque, Iowa, and Anthony Dabbundo of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And guys, we have a brand new Premier League season coming our way, starting Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern with a kickoff between Arsenal and Brentford. And before the show, we were talking about our favorite bets because that's how the show is going to work. We're going to give out our favorite bet of the weekend on the Premier League schedule. Then we're going to talk about our favorite underdogs, maybe a little sprinkle on a big-time parlay. And we'll also give out our full betting cards of the Premier League weekend. And I didn't tell the guys this, but I am going to throw in a wrench here because we have to talk about the Friday game, 3 p.m. It's a curtain raiser. I like Brentford plus 310. BJ, you can tell by his smirk, is an Arsenal fan. Anthony, I'm going to try to convince you to join me on Brentford. I think 3-1 on a team that I think is going to be like Leeds United, is in a little bit of an outlier, tough team to prepare for the other teams in the Premier League. They play a very aesthetically pleasing style of football. They're going to be on the front foot. They're a very brave team, and they have a great finisher in Ivan Toney. If he plays on Friday, I think Brentford are worth a curtain-raising sprinkle. Do you think that there's any reason to jump on that boat?
Betting against Arsenal was about as profitable as it gets in soccer the first half of last season, but they really did turn it around quite a bit the second half. I don't know what to expect from Arsenal coming into this season. I don't think their striker situation is really sorted. Aubameyang is kind of on the downslope pretty hard, especially after when you look at his numbers from last year. And look, newly promoted teams in their first home game tend to do pretty well. So I don't hate the idea of getting behind Brentford plus 310. I'll actually be watching Gladbach and Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga, where I like Gladbach a lot. I know you do as well. But for me, it's a stay away. I'm going to pass. But if Arsenal gets steamed up late, I will be adding some Brentford plus a half.
Brentford.
So if I get plus money on Brentford plus a half, I'll probably end up on.
That's fair. Brentford were the best team by expected goals in the championship last season. I just don't know where many goals are going to come from on this Arsenal side. BJ, is there any reason for people to join you on this misery train at the Emirates for Arsenal to win? I know they're on the road, but should people join you? I don't think so.
No, I mean, this game's just a complete stay away from me. I have literally no idea what Arsenal's going to come out with. They have a ton of new signings, a lot of inexperience at the back, because I actually do love Brentford coming into the season, but I think at the current odds right now, it's just a complete stay away. We'll probably end up watching this be a 1-1 draw or something like that.
I think Arsenal will gain will gain much more betting support as we get closer. As you know, me, you, Anthony, we know who Brentford is. People watching the show probably know who Brentford is, but people who are just looking for action on a Friday afternoon at 3 p.m. might just see Arsenal and get behind them. So you might see that number rise. So that brings us to Saturday morning. I'm going to kick it off with my favorite bet of the weekend on the Premier League slate. 7:30 a.m. kickoff. Cup of coffee. You might not even need a cup of coffee because you'll be watching Leeds United, and honestly, they are caffeine personified on a soccer field. Marcelo Bielsa's revolution in year 4, I think. He obviously earned them promotion. They had a great first season back in the Premiership last year. They're taking on Manchester United. The United's fourth favorite on the title odds. So there's no surprise here to see a big number next to Leeds United. They're 5-1 right now. That number might even rise as we get closer to the Saturday kickoff. I love Leeds in this match. Plus 500. You're getting $5 for every dollar you bet. Man United, we know, slow starters. They are a type of team that will kind of grow their way into a season. Leeds United, they don't take a break for a second in any season. They are the highest pressing team in the league. They run rampant all over teams. They're impossible to plan for. That makes a season opening match even trickier to kind of plan for a team like Manchester United, who tends to do better against teams they try to play a much more pragmatic style of soccer. Leeds United last year 6-13 as an underdog, but for a nearly 40% return on investment. They are a team that you want to back as an underdog and maybe be afraid to back or lay any juice with as a favorite because they are just a team of fireworks, and that tends to kind of, it tends to bite you, but it also will pay off if you back them as an underdog. So guys, what do you think here? Leeds 5-1. Can you look away from that number, BJ?
No, I think that number's playable right now. I mean, really, what's going to happen in this match is either Leeds is going to come out and win this, or they're going to lose 6-1. So there's going to be literally no in between. So I think the play is on the money line here because, like you said, Leeds, it's just up and down press. I mean, it's like in basketball, a team that just will press and press and press you and just never relent. That's what Leeds does. They just keep coming at you. They get 4 or 5 guys behind the ball, and they just go right for the goal, which leaves a lot of open areas for them defending. But you know what? They have a lot of chances to score as well. And yeah, I think that number's playable at 5-1.
Anthony, you tweeted out something earlier in the week about underdogs in match week 1. I think Leeds are maybe the perfect team for that kind of bet. If you are looking for an underdog to bet in the Premier League today, you know, you did tweet that out. Do you think that it's smart to maybe sprinkle every underdog, or are you picking your spots here and there?
Yeah, I'm not playing every underdog, but there are a bunch that kind of stick out to me. The trend is that in the last 9 years, since 2012, 2013, teams that are plus 200 or better on the money line in the opening weekend are 20-64, which sounds bad, but that's actually a 25% return on investment because you're getting a lot of bigger underdogs. If you go back, Burnley had a big win against Chelsea a few years back after they had won the title. Man United losing 3-1 to Crystal Palace last year. Man City has had a loss opening day a couple years ago, and Leeds last season. Remember, Liverpool were the title champions. They got a late penalty to beat Leeds 4-3 in the first match week of the season. So there tends to be a lot more variance. The better teams tend to take some time to get their pieces going. A lot of the teams that have the best players played in the Euros this summer and aren't back from holiday yet. Like, for example, Harry Kane, who came back late for Tottenham, but for Man City, who's not going to have Kevin De Bruyne. Like, there's a lot of injuries here. And look at Manchester United. Edison Cavani, who played Copa America this summer for Uruguay, is still home in Uruguay with family. He's seeing family right now. He has not even returned yet, so he's out for this game. Marcus Rashford is probably not going to play. He's out. Jadon Sancho probably making his debut for United, but there's not a lot of attacking pieces otherwise. So United not looking nearly as dangerous going forward. Rafael Varane unlikely to play as well defensively. So they're out a lot of pieces. And Leeds is fresh. They didn't have that many guys playing the Euros, so they should be more ready to go. And I like +1, and I like +500 as well.
BJ, let's kick over to you for your favorite bet. It's a 10 a.m. kickoff on Saturday. That glut of games. Lay it out for us.
Well, I'm picking my favorite team maybe in the world. It's Brighton and Hove Albion. Draw no bet at -132. I mean, this is a dream matchup for him here in the opener playing against Burnley. And because Brighton's build-up play was fantastic last season, they play a very similar style to what Thomas Tuchel plays at Chelsea, a 3-4-2-1. Sometimes they vary the top and go 2 or 1-2. But playing a team like Burnley that's just going to sit back defensively in a 4-4-2, they're not going to press Brighton. It's going to allow Brighton to basically live in Burnley's final third because Brighton had the 6th most touches in the opponent's final third and penalty area last season. And if you haven't watched Burnley play, they basically just try to get the ball as close to the goal as possible and just score all of their goals off of set pieces because 14.66 of their 39.38 expected goals last season came from penalties, direct free kicks, or corners. And that's basically where their goals are going to have to come from in this match because Brighton only allowed 0.72 expected goals per 90 minutes last season. I have Brighton projected at +103. So I'm going to protect myself from heartbreak in the opener here and take the draw no bet line of -132, but there's plenty of value on their money line at +150 as well.
Protect yourself from heartbreak is pretty much impossible with that Brighton team. That brings us to Anthony's favorite bet, 11:30 a.m. kickoff on Sunday morning. I guess you could call this one the headliner of match week 1. Spurs, Manchester City. Which way are you looking?
I'm going to go under 2.5 goals. Anything plus money. Right now it's +105 at DraftKings. Look, Manchester City became an under machine last year. And if you looked at kind of the first 10 games, that wasn't really the case. And then they kind of bunkered down, and their offense just really isn't nearly as electric as it was in years past. Not really truly playing a recognized striker. Don't know if Gabriel Jesus will play on Sunday. He may because Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden are out. But then you start looking, and Bernardo Silva wants out at the club. So is he going to start? Jack Grealish probably will play. That's good for him. But other than that, the City attacking lineup that we're so used to isn't going to be nearly as potent without 2 of their best creators in Foden and De Bruyne. So that on one side, and the other side is Harry Kane, who's probably not going to play for Tottenham. There's rumors circulating that he may now be fit enough to start coming back a week late for training. Obviously, there's the saga there with whether or not he's going to even be a player for Tottenham come August 31st when the transfer window closes. Spurs had significant issues creating chances when Kane was not on the pitch last year. I envision that to be the same. They don't have Gareth Bale to rescue them anymore. So I think Tottenham probably going to play a pretty defensive approach under Nuno Espirito Santo. Going to be back behind the home fans. I think it's going to be a inspired Tottenham effort, but I'm not sure that there's going to be a ton of goals in this game. I could see this being a 1-0, 2-0, or 1-1 game. So I'm going to go under 2.5, but I need plus money there for it to be any value.
Let's just wrap up our Premier League betting cards for the weekend. BJ, we'll start with you.
So Brighton draw no bet at -132. I also got Aston Villa at +130. Norwich, Liverpool over 3.5 at +120 in the Saturday headliner. And then Sunday morning, Newcastle, West Ham over 2.5 goals at -105.
Yeah, I like the under in the City Spurs game. I like the under in Everton, Southampton. Question marks about both of those teams' attacks going into the new season. Projections only 2.3. And then Brighton on the money line and Leeds +1. And then I also like a little bit on Leeds +500 as well.
I like Brentford, anything better than 3-1. Of course, I like Leeds 5-1. I think that number, both those numbers might rise before kickoff. Actually, like Everton on the money line. I'm going to be paying the price to fade Southampton through the first few weeks of the season. I think they're terrible. And then I like Leicester Wolves over 2.5 +105. I think Wolves are going to be priced as an under team, but the managerial change will turn them into an over team with their attacking talent. So that's one to keep an eye on for not just this week, but going forward. And that brings us to our favorite section of the show, our favorite underdog bet. And now we're not just limiting these to Premier League matches, but any match in Europe. We're looking for something, a nice price. I think we wanted something better than +250. Try to get you guys set up with a life-changing parlay. BJ, kick it off.
I'm going to go with the Bundesliga headliner. First up match, Friday afternoon, Borussia Mönchengladbach versus Bayern Munich. I'm going to go Gladbach +460. I mean, they really have a ton of talent in the squad. They basically kept their entire squad together through the summer. Alassane Play, Marcus Thuram, Lars Stindl, Matthias Ginter, who was a key part of Germany's defense during the Euros. And possibly they also have maybe the MVP of the Euros, Jan Sommer, the Swiss goalkeeper, is going to be between the posts. So really a really talented roster. They fell apart at the end of last season. It was a lot of stuff going off the field. Their manager, Marco Rose, in February announced he was leaving to go manage Dortmund. So they kind of just quit on him over the last 3 months. But most of their struggles really came on the road at home. They had a +9.18 expected goal differential and only allowed 1.04 expected goals per match, which was the third best mark in the Bundesliga. Bayern Munich has some questions coming into the season. They have a new manager, and Julian Nagelsmann, I believe is how you pronounce it. He's coming over from RB Leipzig. In their preseason tune-ups, they lost 3 of their 4 friendlies. You put whatever stock you want into those, but one of those friendlies was against Gladbach. They're due for a ton of negative regression. I mean, they scored over 23 goals more than what their expected goals were last season. They have a couple injury question marks. Alphonso Davies and Kingsley Coman are question marks coming into this match. And finally, Gladbach actually beat Bayern Munich 3-2 at home last season. And 3 out of their last 4 meetings, they've actually won against Bayern Munich at Borussia Park. So let's see if we can start off with a big underdog in the first Bundesliga match on Friday. Give me Gladbach at +460.
That's
music to my ears.
That is a beautiful thing. We're big fans of Die Fohlen on the show. That's a Friday afternoon kickoff. Anthony, I believe you have a Saturday kickoff for your underdog.
Yeah, it's Leeds United. I actually have their point total under for the year. Leeds United. I am not as high on them as everybody else seems to be. 53.5. I believe under is -110. I just don't trust their defense enough. But in this situation, at a 5-1 shot to fade United, I think it's a good value play. I show a little bit of value on it. And then you take out the fact that Cavani and Rashford aren't going to play, and who's scoring for United? They could get a penalty again. They seem to do that a lot, but I don't really trust them enough there. And to get back to BJ's point about Gladbach, became a bit of a story that they were 4-1 last year, same spot at home, went down 2-0, came back to win. There's going to be fans in the Bundesliga this year, so that's a big boost. Came back to win 3-2, and then the second game they played at Bayern, I had them 7-1. They lost 6-0. So,
They just
We
got to be
take
at
it.
home. They just got to be at home.
Got to be at home. So, like BJ mentioned, when Rose announced he was leaving, they lost 7 straight matches in all competitions. They were dreadful for 2 months. They finally picked it up a little bit at the end of the season. So yeah, Gladbach big time as well. I have them plus 1.25 and on the money line.
So there you go. All three of us love Gladbach. All three of us love Leeds. Let me try to convince you guys on Real Sociedad in La Liga. They are taking on Barcelona, who I don't know if you've heard, are in the news for some reason the past week. A squad player, I guess you could call him at this point in his career, Lionel Messi, is now off that team. The team is just in turmoil. The club is in turmoil. They have spent their way into almost $1 billion of debt. Some of their new signings aren't even registered yet. It is just a mess at Barcelona. Real Sociedad was one of the best teams in the Bundesliga. They were top 5 in expected goals for and against in La Liga last year. They are, if you've listened to our preview show, our preview podcast that came out on the Action Network podcast channel last week or this week, we all said that we like Sociedad as a sprinkle, as like a long shot play to win La Liga, given the state of the league. They're just a hair over 3-1. They're plus 310. It's a 2 p.m. kickoff on Sunday. I think that is a great bet to try to fade this Barcelona team while they're picking themselves up off the floor, wiping away their messy tears. What do you guys think?
Absolutely love Real Sociedad at that number. I mean, once the Messi news came out, I didn't grab it right away. I'm kind of kicking myself, but Barcelona's gone all the way down from minus 230. I think they're like minus 135 right now. So they've dropped almost 100 points. I still think there's a little bit of value in here. I think I like Barcelona projected at like minus 117 after Messi leaving. They have one of our favorite players in Alexander Isak, who is just an absolutely electric striker. And like you said, Barcelona's in turmoil. Who knows who's going to be on the field for them come Sunday? And, they're incredibly vulnerable against a really good Real Sociedad team. So yeah, I'm on you with plus 310.
And the biggest argument with Barcelona is, they have this other young talent, but Ansu Fati, don't know his status for this weekend. Pedri just played the Euros and the Olympics, so I can't imagine
73 matches.
Yeah, I can't imagine he's ready to turn
73.
around and start a La Liga campaign. So Barca's good young talent is even in flux. We might be seeing some Braithwaite is even at the club anymore. But yeah, Memphis not registered yet. Aguero's injured; he's out 2.5 months now. So there is an absolute calamitous situation developing at Barcelona. And really, they were bad at the beginning of last season too. They turned it around. Second half, they were the best team in the league. But the first half of last season, they were not very good. It cost them the title. So it wouldn't take much. A slow start, could miss out on top 4. But really, yeah, I agree. On Sociedad, I'm not sure if we missed the best number. I think I did, but
we sure did. But this is a bet for fun. I mean, think about how much fun it's going to be to bet against Barcelona these first few weeks, and when you get a chance to do it on an actually good team, it makes it that much better. For those of you keeping track at home, that parlay, if you took all 3 of our picks, will pay out 138-1. That's Borussia Mönchengladbach Friday afternoon, Leeds United Saturday morning, Real Sociedad on Sunday afternoon, 138-1. I guess we'll see you next week, and we'll talk about how we're going to be spending our new riches. So for BJ, for Anthony, I'm Michael, and thank you for watching the Action Network's Premier League betting preview show for Match Week 1.